Hello everybody, this is another Hot Wheels Collector video. Today we are looking at the 1956 Barbie Corvette. This is a brand new casting for 2023, and this casting first debuted in the 2023 L case in pink. I will have a picture of that car pop up on screen right now. The reason why I'm having to show you a picture instead of a turntable showcase is simply because I was never able to find that car in the wild. It's just been super popular since it does feature in the Barbie movie. That is exactly why the Hot Wheels team decided to do this casting, since they knew it would sell really well, since it's in the Barbie movie, which was super hyped up this year. So many adverts and so many people went to see it, and I think even people who don't collect Hot Wheels are literally buying it when they see it in stores before Hot Wheels collectors can. I've yet to see a single one of them in the wild to this day. It features in the same case as the Alfa Romeo. Now that car was quite challenging to find, but I was able to find them eventually. And that is simply because really it's only collectors battling for that one, where this one we had a totally different audience also trying to find this car. So loads and loads of people have been trying to find it in pink. I was never able to, but I did find this blue one, which features in the 2023 Q case. I actually do prefer this colour scheme. I think it looks fantastic on this Corvette C1. We actually do see this blue version of the car in the trailer for the movie, as well as in the movie itself as a background car. We also do see a green version of this car, as well as a yellow version of this car, also in the trailer for the movie. So I will quickly mention where I actually found this car then. So I found this car in a local Aldi store. If you're not from the UK and don't know, Aldi stores, they don't very often get Hot Wheels in. They're kind of like a sales store. They're a really odd store where they sell really odd things, and they always get like special items in, which are like, once they're gone, they're gone. And this was one of them things where once it's gone, it's gone. They probably won't get any Hot Wheels in for another 6 months. Now, this Q case has not been seen in any other stores here in the UK yet. This is the first store to get it, and I was super chuffed to find them there. I had heard in groups that they were supposed to be putting them out on a Monday morning, so guess what? That Monday morning I was there, and I was super happy to find 5 untouched shippers. And yeah, I went through all of them. Unfortunately, there was no super treasure hunt. However, I did get everything I wanted out of the Q case. That was absolutely amazing. Oh, and before we do get into the facts about this car, let me tell you that this car does feature in the 2023 Hot Wheels Screen Time mini-series. It's car number 9 out of 10 in that set. I will also mention that this car is number 183 out of 250 for 2023. Alright, so let me give you some facts about the movie car then. So the on-screen Corvette is actually an EV. Obviously the real-life 1956 Corvette was not an EV, it had a petrol engine. But the one on screen is actually an EV, and there's some more cool facts about that. But first of all, let me tell you that the car which features in the movie is notably shorter and smaller than the real-life C1, which we do see on our roads. And it was also given an extra row of seats in the back of the car to allow for the movie scenes to be created. They did have to convert the car to have that. The car in the movie is also a totally functional replica of the Corvette C1. However, it is not safety tested at all, and hence is totally not road legal. Another fact which I thought was really interesting about the movie car is the car was actually driven by an operator using a VR headset. According to Nico Ferrari, who was the movie's picture vehicle supervisor, I find that really funny because people actually joke about EVs being like remote control cars, and this car literally was an EV which was a remote control car. So that is super funny. But anyways, that is it for the facts about this car. Now let's move on to my showcase of the actual Hot Wheels model. Alright, so kicking off this showcase then, we'll first of all take a look at the side of this car, and I'll first of all mention the wheel choice on this thing. So this car is rolling on the Aerodisc wheels, which have been painted in chrome. A really nice wheel choice for this car. I genuinely don't think there would have been any better choice for this car. They look fantastic on this thing in my opinion. I think that's going to be quite a controversial thing to say, since a lot of people don't like the Aerodisc wheels, but I honestly don't see the problem with them. I think they're pretty cool. As for the rest of the car then, it is primarily painted in this baby blue colour with a matte finish. The reason why I say primarily is because technically this car, like the real life car and the movie car, is two-toned. And why I say that is because you can see there is a large portion of the side of this car tempered in white. Now, as I've said, that's accurate to the real car and the movie car because the C1 in real life was done in two-tone. It always was done in a primary colour, which is where the blue is, and it always had this panel here, as you can see tempered on this Hot Wheels model, separated from the rest of the car and was usually done in a different colour, and it always had that chrome trim around it, which we do see tempered on this car as well. Now obviously it is not tampered on chrome in this thing, instead it's done in silver. The reason why the Hot Wheels team have done that is because they don't have a chrome tampo paint, so instead they've had to do it in silver because that is the closest match. But yeah, that's why I said it's two-tone, and that is a large piece of tampo work on the side of this thing. Very awesome detailing there. We also do have the Chevrolet logo featuring on the side of this car, in that white portion of the car, being tampoed in silver. And a funny thing about that badge is the EV in Chevrolet is actually tampoed in dark blue. Now the reason why they have done that, as you've probably already picked up, is because this car is an EV version of the C1. So really awesome details there. Nice little secret Easter egg for you guys. And the final piece of tampo work which we do see on the side of this car is the door handle of this thing being tampoed in silver. The reason why it's done in silver, as I've already mentioned on previous parts of the side of this thing, is because they don't have chrome paint. And you'll also notice that the door lock of this car is also tampoed on there in black. Anyways, that is it for the tampo work on the side of this thing. Now onto the actual metal casting. So first of all, you can see the actual door of this car is moulded into the metal casting. The other details which I do want to mention is the door handle of this car and the door lock of this car both feature in the metal casting and do actually protrude from the rest of the car. I will also mention that this casting does not have any wing mirrors, however that's totally okay as the car that features in the movie also does not have any wing mirrors. So this is technically accurate and is not missing any detail here. And finally, I will mention that this car does not have any side windows. Anyways, that is it for the side of this thing. Now let's move on to the front of this thing. Alright, so taking a look at the front of this car, then we do have quite a lot of detail, both in terms of the metal casting, but also in terms of tampo work. So first of all, we do have the headlights of this car being done in a realistic look. Those headlights are tampoed in a mixture of dark blue, light blue, and even a bit of white in there. Now the reason why they have been done in blue is quite simple. The movie car, which has been done in pink, as I've already mentioned earlier on in the video, does actually have pink tinted headlights. Now this car has been done in blue. So the headlights have also been tinted in blue. That is a really awesome detail from the Hot Wheels team. I'm really happy that they did decide to do that with this car. Really nice there. I'm so impressed with that. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Now around those headlights we do have a bit of silver tampo. Now that is accurate to the movie car because the movie car does actually have a chrome trim around the headlights. That is the same as regular Corvette C1s, which don't feature in the movie. And obviously, I've already mentioned that the Hot Wheels team do not have chrome tampo, so instead they've had to do it in silver because that's the closest match. Now, just below the main headlights of this car, we do also have the turn signal or indicator light, featuring in blue once again. They have the exact same story as the headlights. Now, below those turn signal or indicator lights, we do have two pieces of trim on the front bumper of this car. They have both received tampo work in the form of silver. Once again, I've already mentioned they don't have chrome tampo work, so they've had to use silver instead. And those are actually in the metal casting as well. They're not just tampoed on there. That is really good. It makes it look a lot more 3D. Now onto the actual grille section of this car then. The entire grille of this car has been tampoed in silver. Same story goes. They don't have chrome tampo, so they have to use silver. And we also do have two more pieces of trim also featuring in the metal casting of this car. Once again, tampoed in silver there. Really awesome detail on the front of this car. It's definitely premium level quality. Absolutely fantastic value for money here. We also do have the license plate of this car being tampoed in silver again. And on that license plate it does read Barbie, which is being tampoed in pink as you would expect since that's the colour of the Barbie movie logo. And the final piece of tampo work which we haven't talked about yet is first of all we do have the Chevrolet badge once again returning to the front of this car. It's done in silver again and also does have the E and the V in Chevrolet done in blue. Once again because this car is an EV C1. And finally we do have the Corvette badge just above that, tampoed in a mixture of white and silver. Anyways, that is it for the front of this thing. Now let's move on to the next side of the car. Alright, so now onto the next side of this car then. It is pretty much the exact same as the previous, so I'm not going to bore you with going over everything all over again. However, the only difference to this side, which doesn't feature on the previous side, is the fact that the electric charging point for this vehicle features on this side. It features in the white section of this side of the car, and you can see it tampoed here with a silver outline. Anyways, that's it for this side of the car. Now let's move on to the rear of this thing. Alright, so taking a look at the rear of this car then, we do have a decent amount of detail here in terms of the metal casting. However, we do not have any tampo work here. So first of all, we do have the rear brake lights of this car featuring moulded into the metal casting. We also do have the lower lights of this car also featuring in the metal casting. I believe these are actually turn signal or indicator lights. However, even though these rear lights do not receive any detail in terms of tamper work, you could easily add your own detail here using Sharpie or acrylic paint. We also do have the two pieces of trim on the rear bumper of this car featuring in the metal casting. Now, this is actually accurate to the movie cars. The movie cars pieces of trim are actually done in the same colour as the rest of the body of the car. However, the standard C1 does have these two pieces of trim done in chrome. So technically these are actually accurate and don't need any tamper work detail to be accurate to the movie car. So that's a fun fact there. I will also mention that we do have the license plate holder of this car featuring in the metal casting as well. Even though there is no license plate detailed onto this car in terms of tamper work, you could easily add your own detail here using a permanent sticker. You can easily find those on the internet with a quick Google. And that's really it for the rear of this car then. Not a whole lot of detail here, but there is still some. Let's move straight onto the top of this thing. Alright, so taking a look at the top of this car then, the detail does not stop yet. First of all, taking a look at the trunk of this car then, you can see the outlining of the trunk of this car has been moulded into the metal casting. Very nice detail there. We also do have two little bumps in the trunk of this car as well, featuring in the metal casting. I'm not 100% sure what those are or what they do on the real life car. However, they do feature on both the movie car and the regular C1. I genuinely don't know what these are or what they do, but anybody who knows, please do let me know in the comments section below. It'd be greatly appreciated. Moving on, you can see the interior plastic of this car is done in white. Looks very good in my opinion and looks very period correct. Even though the interior of the movie car is actually done in white and blue and is two-tone just like the rest of the car. So it's sort of not accurate, but I'm pleased they chose to do the entire interior in white instead of blue. Next up, I will mention that this car unfortunately does not have any windshield wipers. That is a small detail which is missing, however it will affect my score at the end of this video. Next up, onto the hood of this car then. First of all, we do have a vent near the windshield of this car, moulded into the metal casting. We also do have the outline of the hood of this car featuring in the metal casting. Finally, we do have two ridges in the hood also featuring in the metal casting. I believe these ridges were just added by Chevy to make the car look a little bit better and make the hood look a little bit less bland and plain. I don't think they have any significance in terms of performance. Anyways, that is it for the top of this thing, and that is also it for my showcase of this car. So now let's move on to my final thoughts and review on this thing. Alright, so now it's time for my final thoughts and review on this car. I really do like this casting. I think it has all the details you could possibly ask for. I also really do like the tamper work. Again, it's got all the details you could ask for a mainline. The only details which are missing are on the rear, but that's something you can forgive since this is a mainline, and for what you pay you get an awful lot of value for money in my opinion. I also love the colour choice on this car, super accurate to the movie car, the blue one in the movie that is. That is just a minor car in the movie. It's a background car and also features in the trailer alongside the green one and the yellow one. It's the same as the main pink one which we all know, it's just been recolored essentially. And yeah, it's a really nice looking vehicle. I think this looks great. I also like the interior colour on this car. I think the white interior looks superb. Now the only thing I don't like is the fact that this car does not have any windshield wipers. Even though the Barbie Corvette does have windshield wipers in the movie, and obviously the real life C1 also does have windshield wipers. So that is a detail which is missing and will affect my score in just a few seconds. But yeah, I do wish those were on there, especially since this is a new casting and there really is no excuse for them not being there. They can't pull the excuse that it's because it's a mainline car, because this car will probably end up in premium at some point, or it'll get reused. In fact, it already has been in premium. We saw that diorama set with 4 different colours of this Corvette. So yeah, no excuses for that one, Mattel, because it went straight to premium before this one even came out in the mainline. Really nice car though. For what you pay, and you get so much value for money. One of the best value for money cars in the mainline ever, in my opinion. But anyways, that does lead me on my score out of 10 for this thing. So one of this car out of 10, it's going to be receiving a well-deserved and well-earned 9.5 out of 10. Looks great. I highly recommend you pick this thing up in stores if you do see it. But anyways, that is it for this video. So if you guys did enjoy, make sure to like. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. Remember, you can also press that notification bell so you do not miss new uploads. Remember, you can also share this video with any friends, family, or any groups who may be interested. But remember, don't feel pressured if you don't feel like you have anybody who may be interested. You watching this video all the way to the end means so much to me, and I really do thank you for making it all the way up until this point. But anyway, that is it for this video, so I hope you guys did enjoy, and I hope to see you guys in the next one. Bye bye everyone.